Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Now, that scripture was from Luke 14:28. And I just want to welcome everybody who's here on this live today. My name is Pinder. I am a U.S. Navy veteran. And right now I'm just sharing this to a couple of people on my Facebook Live. But if you're watching this live, can you do me a favor and put a 1 in the chat? And if you're here watching the recording, can you do me a favor and put a 2 in the chat? But most importantly, please make sure to like and comment and share this with anybody else who you feel like this information can help. Because I'm here for 2 reasons. 1, if you're someone looking to buy a home, but you feel unsure where to start. Or 2, if you wondering how to prepare your finances to make that dream of yours an actual reality, this is the live, this is the Facebook video, this is the recording that you want to be on. Now, for those who don't already know who I am, my name is Pinder. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I am passionate about helping families just like you, just like me, align their finances with those amazing biblical principles to achieve their goals. Now, in today's video, we're going to be diving into Luke 14, verse 28, where Jesus says, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it?" Now, I'm using the new version, not the King James version, so I know the wording is a little bit off. But this verse teaches us the importance of planning, right? Especially when it comes to our finances. Again, that's whether you're preparing to buy a house or you simply just want to take control of your finances. This is the talk for you and anybody else who has a similar goal. Now, again, right, because Luke 14:28 reminds us that success starts with preparation. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples of how that can actually apply to home ownership. Okay, guys? I hope you guys, if you have a note and pad, please make sure you're writing this down. But the first thing you want to do is make sure you understand your finances, right? Because before you want to make such a huge decision like buying a house, you need to take a hard look at your financial situation. An example, Proverbs 27:23 says, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks." Now, obviously, we're not living in biblical times unless you're a farmer or you don't have any flocks. But you can translate that in today's terms by just saying, make sure you know your income. Make sure you know your expenses. Make sure you know your credit score. And that's a very simple way to be sure that you know the condition of your flocks. Now, the second example, set a budget, right? Just as you would estimate the cost of building a building, you need to plan for home ownership. Create a budget. Make sure that you can account for a monthly mortgage payment. Make sure you can account for property taxes. Make sure you can account for insurance and maintenance. You don't want these expenses to be a surprise when you hear about them. You want to already be prepared. And then the third thing you can do is save for the cost, right? Don't overlook upfront costs like down payments or closing fees. Think back to the book of Genesis. It was Genesis 41, the story of Joseph, right? Before Egypt had that time of famine and they were abundant, Joseph was putting away some of every portion. That way, when the famine came, they had some extra and they weren't out. And he saved years of plenty to set aside that portion. You can do the exact same thing with your income, guys. Tax time's coming around in a few months. Don't blow that money on things you know you don't need. Set it aside. That way you can be prepared for the goals that you have, like home ownership or maybe a car, whatever it is. Set that money aside. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of practical steps really as far as how to actually prepare for a mortgage. So again, if you're taking notes, write this down. If you're not taking notes, I don't know what you're doing. But first thing you need to do is check your credit report, because your credit score plays a huge role in whether you even qualify for a mortgage or not. I'm going to give you guys a free tip. You need at least a 590. I recommend you get higher than that, but that's the minimum that you need. And you can go to annualcreditreport.com. I'm even giving you guys a website. You can go to annualcreditreport.com to not only check your credit report, but to see if there are any errors that may need to be disputed. Guys, trust me, it happens. It happened to me before. I had a medical bill from when I was in the Navy, which is literally impossible because any person serving active duty is covered under TRICARE. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Make sure you're doing your due diligence and just checking. The next thing you can do, guys, lower your debt to income ratio, your DTI. Guys, listen, lenders are going to look at how much income you're paying and how much of it goes towards your debts. Pay down those high interest debts to improve your DTI and free up that money for your mortgage. You don't want to be doing your home application and then you have a bunch of credit cards and loan payments that you're still trying to make down when you had the money to pay them down. The third, guys, avoid big financial changes, okay? Don't quit your job unless you're getting the higher paying job. Don't take on any huge expenses, especially if you're looking to buy a home. Don't go buy a new car. Don't go buy a new TV. Don't go get a brand new credit card. Don't do any of that stuff because that risks your stability in the mortgage approval process. And you need to be, wherever you're at, keep it at that level or make it better. Don't do anything that could risk changing it, okay, guys? Now, this week, today, tomorrow, every day, I challenge you to really sit down. And like I said in Luke 14:28, count the cost. Estimate your financial costs. Look at how much money you need. Make sure you have enough to actually get to your goals. And if you don't have enough, put a plan in place to make sure that you have enough when the time comes. Review your credit report and focus on one area of improvement. Maybe you have a bunch of negative items. Okay, tackle them down one at a time. Maybe you have a bunch of debts. Okay, do the snowball method. Pay down the lowest one first and work your way up. Build momentum. Maybe you don't know what to do. Well, listen, guys, I can help you. There's other professionals all over the place that can help you. Get the help that you need. Step 2, guys, create a refined budget that'll include a savings, right? A lot of people set up that budget of all the bills they have to pay, but they don't write down how much money they're going to save every month. So make sure that you're creating a budget and that you're going to follow the budget, but make sure that you also include things like savings. I include Tide in my budget, but you need to make sure that you're knowing where your money is going and that you're prepared, okay, guys? Now, again, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So in the meantime, between time, y'all, stay blessed by the best. Again, my name is Pinder. I'm just on a mission to save the masses. And in the meantime, between time, stay blessed by the best. Y'all have a good day.